Hey, what's up, Trails Collective? Ian here for the weekly rundown for October 7th, 2020. I'm thankful to be coming off a pretty good weekend up in the Adirondacks this past weekend. Had the opportunity on Friday to set off with my wife to do the Dix Range. The plan was to do a 15-mile, basically loop, and covering, I think, 5 of the high peaks. The weather up top ended up being pretty gross. Our visibility was limited to about probably about 30 meters or so. Snow was mixing in with some rain. It was pretty wet, a little bit of light wind, which I guess isn't too far for the course, or par for the course in terms of weather up in the Adirondacks, particularly this time of year. But whereas I'd really like to take in and enjoy the peaks rather than just check them off a bucket list, we got a little bit over Dix and then decided that maybe we'd rather just come back down off of the ridge. So we headed back down. Still a really beautiful day to be out there, really quality time spent. Had the opportunity on that one to spend some time in Nathan's Vapor Air 2.0 vest, which worked really well. I really liked it. And I'll continue to work it into some of the other vests I'm trying and demoing right now. And then also had some more miles in that one in the Innovates Terra Ultra Graphene G270. The Innovate Terra Ultra G270, allowing you to run down mountains with babies since 2020. Terra Ultra G270.
Smile, Cameron.
Also had a very unplanned and impromptu outing with my oldest daughter. We were planning on a different, shorter day hike up there, up Noonmark Mountain, but the parking lots were just all full, and there happened to be a spot that opened up in a parking area of Route 73 that I pulled into just to look at the maps again, and I just looked up on the sign to see where we were, and it said Giant was accessible from that trailhead, so we very impromptu set off at 4 p.m., got up to the summit of that one around 5:45. I think the last one's up there for that day. We are nearing sunset, but also found ourselves in a cloud just like I was the day before. This time maybe 50 meters of visibility, so bummed to not have the views, but definitely quality time. We came down mostly under headlamp and just really quality time spent. So hopefully you're all able to get out there and find similar opportunities with friends or family or loved ones. Great time of the year to be out on the trails. Let's see, I also posted up before I left and going out of town an initial review of the Saucony Switchback 2. It was a model that I really liked, the Switchback 1 last year. I think not stellar durability out of the model, but I really love it in terms of underfoot feel and just the functioning of the BOA lace system. So if you haven't checked it out and you're interested, check out the review and find the Switchback 2 in your local run specialty store or here with us, Finger Lakes Running or the Trails Collective shop. All right, let's get into it on this past week. Let's start with FKTs. The fastestknowntimes.com website that I draw on for these updates had their episode 105 of their own podcast that came out this past week, or maybe it was even this week. And it was an interview with the duel between two incredible athletes, Alyssa Godesky and Sarah Kais, who we both have had on, or Ellie's had on the Trails Collective interview series, as they went after the Adirondack 46 FKT, basically duel or record just a bit ago. So check that out at fastestknowntime.com and we'll plug the link. And the Solomon Golden Ticket Series New England segment finished up the end of September. A lot of, I think, incredible performances out there, but the two that came out with the fastest times were Aaron Newell in 4:02, which was just absolutely flying. I think the only quicker time is the current FKT by Jordan Fields at I think is in the 3:40s. I think Aaron's time is 2 minutes faster than Lee's. I don't know if the segments align exactly, but I think they're probably pretty close. So pretty incredible effort from Aaron. And then Jess Marion. Jess Marion, no stranger to the Prezi Traverse, has had the FKTs prior, but covered a 4:35 for this one, which is under and establishes the new FKT for the segment. Both of those individuals will head to the Azores, full ride to the Golden Ticket Championships, which is the end of this month. And I did check in with both of them, and we will, more important than me harping at you here, let them firsthand tell you how it all went down. So take it, Jess.
And for what it's worth, I think a lot of my motivation actually comes from being a teacher. I'm a high school biology teacher, and it is a very weird time to be teaching right now. I'm teaching in a hybrid model, so some days some kids are in school, some kids are at home, some days are all remote. It's very confusing and frustrating, and the whole thing could close tomorrow. We have no idea. So I think I just really wanted to have this in my back pocket going forward into the fall. So when there are days when it seems like nothing's going right, I can kind of fall back and say, hey, I ran an FKT in the Prezi.
And then on Aaron's day, go ahead and take it, Aaron.
Hello, Aaron Newell here. I guess I got the Prezi Golden Trail segment. Yay! Yeah, it was a super duper windy day. I'd done it like 3 days before and it was super duper wet. And I ran like 4:35 and got lost a bunch of times. And that was the first time I tried it. And then I went back 3 days later. Sorry, confusing. And then tried it again in what was basically a hurricane. It was like 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. And I was getting blown over from Madison to Washington. And then, but at least I had dry rocks this time. And then, yeah, blasted out to Pierce and was under the record or under the Golden Trail segment record. And just kind of wandered down Pierce pretty quick. Tried not to roll my ankle in the leaves and got the segment and was stoked. Was still about a little less than 20 minutes off of Jordan Field's FKT, which is blisteringly fast. But he definitely had better conditions. And I would love to go back sometime and have better conditions and try for Jordan's record. Yay!
So congrats to all those who went after it. Pretty incredible segment. Must be absolutely beautiful this time of year in terms of foliage. Weather must be pretty perfect. So hopefully everybody had a great time going after it. All right, and getting into the FKTs otherwise. In Connecticut, Josie Wilson, 1 hour, 20 minutes for the Iron Trail. She lowered Grace Long's time from earlier this year by 35 minutes. In New Hampshire, Christopher Welker and Jenna Bensko and Megan Morgan, 15 hours, 36 minutes for the Dartmouth 50-mile mixed gender team baseline mark. And Albert Hansruk and Bill Wilsey, 3 hours, 28 minutes for the Mount Monadnock Pumpelly Trail. In New Jersey, Mark Schenberger, 4 hours, 14 minutes for the New Jersey's Appalachian Trail, Delaware Water Gap to Culver's Gap segment. New York, probably the most, the most activity on FKTs this week. Ted Arkilla and Michelle Zandona, 1 hour, 58 minutes for the baseline mixed gender team on the Hook Mountain Loop. Justin Kowski continues to hammer through 2020. I'll have to look back and see how many FKTs he's established this year. But they're not just soft FKTs on soft routes. Pretty phenomenal. I don't think Justin's on social media, so I haven't been able to connect with him there. But at some point, I would love to connect. But he took a double shot of the 22.5 mile escarpment trail. So 45 miles, gaining 11,600 feet in 10 hours, 19 minutes. Matt Perkins, and whereas Justin's was a baseline mark for that double, Matt lowered the existing and solid time set this past July of the escarpment one way, unsupported by over 23 minutes for a new mark of 4 hours and 5 minutes. So nice work there, Matt. Sean Bubani, 2 hours, 17 minutes for the Huckleberry Loop Trail. He shaved 25 minutes off of my teammate, CatsTail and Manitou's Revenge Co-RD Mike Siudy's time from 2012. Thomas Winiski, 14 hours, 56 minutes for the self-supported baseline on the Lake Placid Niner Challenge. And Sarah Kai's back at it again this week. 2 hours, 2 minutes for the Whiteface and Esther, shaving 6 minutes off of Charlotte Winkler's time from July of this year. In Virginia, Barbara McMullen, 8 hours, 29 minutes for a baseline women's supported mark over the 69-kilometer Jerry Connolly cross-county trail. and 2 multi-state efforts. Johnny Lyons had at the outback of the York County Heritage and North Central Railroad Trail, spanning PA and Maryland, and he covered 95.58 miles in 18 hours, 54 minutes. This route being an old railroad trail corridor with only 1,494 feet over nearly 100 miles. Oof, the idea of a fairly flat, I shouldn't say fairly, a really flat 100-mile effort is kind of scary to me. You don't get any of the excuses to walk that the climbs give you, or to really mix up muscle groups. So nice work, Johnny. And thank you to your crew for giving me the tip there before I even got to it on the Fastest Known Times website. And Katie Thompson, 8 hours, 28 minutes for the AT 4-state challenge, spanning 45 miles, running through PA, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia. And Katie's time shaves off over 2 hours from Susie Bosquet's time from July of this year. Results from in-person events. And 3 days of the fair, an event put on by the crew at New Jersey Trail Series, also went down last week. A range of distances and endurance events going up to the Grand Poobah of 144 hours. Pretty crazy. A true endurance, transcendental type event. Brings in some of the individuals from various parts of the country really looking to go long. Uses a metric mile loop on, I think, crushed cinder around the fairgrounds. And looks like truly a pretty great community, and the things that they have going on throughout the course of the event just look pretty cool. And I am going to let a friend, teammate, mastermind behind the Pain Cave, and winner of the 24-hour distance, Jay Friedman, intro the event and talk about some really, hopefully, amazing performances that happen, including some age group and national, if not world records. He'd do a much better, I think, job of giving it justice than I would be able to do in having been a participant. So take it, Jay.
Hey guys, it's Jay. Going to give you a little report from this weekend's 3 days at the fair in northern New Jersey. 3 days at the fair is a timed race that takes place at the Sussex County Fairgrounds in Augusta, New Jersey. It's put on by the New Jersey Trail Series team of event directors. They put on a bunch of races in the northern Jersey area, and this one's been going on for several years. They have timed races from 6 days, 3 days, 48 hours, 24 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours, and then they have multiple 50K and marathon options as well, all on a 1 mile paved loop in the fairgrounds in Sussex. It's a pretty cool event. This was my first time running it. It was my second 24-hour race, my first one in about 3 or 4 years. And it was good to just be out and, be around other people and be at a kind of a big event that felt like something was actually going on for the first time in a while. There was a lot of excitement this year because Camille Herron, who, as you guys probably know, is a multi-time world record holder and world champion, was coming with a stated goal of breaking the 48-hour world record. So there was a lot of hoopla kind of attached to her attempt there. But there's also the 6-day going on and a 3-day, including Ed Eddinghausen, the jester, who you guys may recognize as one of the more prolific and accomplished 100-mile and 24-hour runners in the U.S. He was there running the 3-day as well. I ran the 24. It was a lot of fun. As fun as these sort of things can be. Had a pretty good day. The first 6 hours, I was kind of on the pace where I wanted to be, which I thought might get me in the range of, maybe 140 to 150 miles. But I went through a real bad patch from about hour 6 to about hour 9 or 10. And that kind of just threw me off pace to the point that my big mileage goals went out the window. But I was able to rally well, and the crew there was great. They do a really nice job. This is, like I said, been going on for about 6 or 7 years, and they really have it dialed with the aid station and the timing and the support and everything else. And we had great weather. They had some rain. Those in the 6-day had some rain earlier in the week, but we had partly sunny skies. Didn't get above really probably 65, and it was in the high 30s at night, which was perfect for me. And I was able to rally and get back on track and turn in some good miles from probably 9 p.m. until about 3 or 4 a.m. and was able to take over the lead at around mile 80 to 85, and was able to extend the lead until probably 20 plus hours in was when I felt pretty safe that I was going to be able to hang on for the win, which I did. Got through 120 miles, which was pretty close to what I had done in my first. It wasn't, again, my goal exactly for the week, or for the day, but it was still a pretty good performance and a good time. And it was always as fun, happy to get the win. The big stories, like I was saying, were in the 48-hour. Camille, unfortunately, was dealing with some injury issues and pulled the plug after about 18 hours. And actually still finished second in the 48-hour event for the women with her 18-hour total, which was quite something because she was out pretty fast. But one of her athletes who she coaches, Marisa Lizak, who is, I believe, the two-time now defending 100-mile road champion for the U.S., was running her first 48-hour event, and she wound up breaking the U.S. record for 48 hours, which is held by Tracy Falbo, with 243.5 miles. She broke it by a little over a mile. It was pretty impressive to see. She and Bob Hearn, a 24-hour and a multi-day specialist from California, were actually doing battle in the 48 hours. And so they were both in the mid 130s when I started running on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And they both of them looked, to my eyes, to be in a bit of hurt even that early on, and they both rallied amazingly well. We got to see them just turning laps all day and all night long. They would disappear for little stretches to get some rest, and then they would come out, and Marisa, when she was running, was still turning in 9, 10, 11-minute laps pretty consistently. And Bob was doing his patented run-walk mix, and that guy can power hike like nobody I've ever seen. He can probably hike a 12-minute mile and still run 9-minute miles when he was out there. Really, really impressive to see. So Marisa did set the 48-hour American women's record with 243 miles, as I mentioned. Bob broke his own U.S. age group record for 50 to 54-year-olds, running 240 miles, breaking his own record by 8 miles, which was pretty impressive, and he is about to turn 55. So if he had waited a week, he could have had 2 age group records at once. That was unfortunate for him, but very impressive watching both of them. And we also saw a bunch of age group records from Eugene Bruckert, who's a name that may be familiar to some of you East Coast guys. 85 to 89-year-old men's American records for 48 hours, 100 miles, and 100 kilometers that he split along the way. So 93 miles in 48 hours, 100 miles in 50 hours and 48 minutes, and 100 kilometers in 28 hours and change, and also 50 miles in 1650. These were all American age group records for Eugene. So congratulations to all those guys. It's a good race, and 24 hours and on a flat loop is a bit mind-numbing, but it's kind of a cool experience. I know we're all really into the trails, but if you haven't experienced the fun of a timed race and a 24-hour race in particular, I encourage you to give it a shot because it's a lot of fun, and you may learn some things about ultra running that you didn't know before. So, all right, that's it for now. Stay safe out there, and speak to you guys soon.
And on Friday, October 2nd, one that wasn't on my radar, so thanks to Clayton Bouchard for the tip and the heads up, the inaugural Red Barn Challenge, a 6-hour, 12-hour, and 24-hour, kicked off at 7 p.m. at Likens PA. Looks like it used a 1-mile grassy, really nice looping course. And let's see, on the 24-hour, Thomas Creighton took the win with 122 miles with Leanne Martinez. Sounds like with popped blisters, bandaged feet, and a cracked windshield in the morning for good luck, took the top mileage for the women with 80 miles. In the 12-hour, Becca Lindgren took the overall mileage win with 69, followed by Carl Fucht with 65. In the kiddie race, the 6-hour, Scott Lesh took the overall mileage win with 36 miles, and Kara Hale took the women's top slot with 31. And on Saturday, October 3rd, Bubba's Backyard Ultra, a last person standing format event, also went down in Center Conway, New Hampshire. The course uses a 3.5 mile mostly forested single track loop, which has 250 feet of gain and one aid station midway. There were 43 losers, with Ed Clifford of Raymond, New Hampshire emerging as the last person standing after 119 miles. And I'm going to turn to Andrew Drummond and Monte McIndoe of Run and Ski the Whites. Pretty cool entity that you should check out in both a podcast as well as shop for the rundown the event. So Andrew and Monte, take it.
Hey everyone, Andrew Drummond here, joined with Monte McIndoe, race directors for Bubba's Backyard Ultra that just went off this weekend. Took a few precautions with the COVID thing going on, just making sure that everyone was socially distanced as best as possible. Our aid station, we had one person there handling all the food, but overall, as the field shrunk throughout the event, it seemed to go pretty smoothly. We had 44 participants, with our finisher doing it in how many laps?
34?
34 laps it took to finish this event. So it went through the night into the next night. Winner was Ed Clifford. First DNF was JB Kroll. Second DNF was Nathan Lamar.
Yeah.
Excellent performance put on by all. Have to give a shout out to the female lappers.
Suze Laughlin and Molly Karp.
15 laps for each of them. Also our youngest runner, 13 years old.
Patrick Laughlin.
Yeah.
That's it.
Phenomenal event. We're still doing another one. We got the Blackout 5K, 10K up here in Jackson, New Hampshire coming up. And if you're interested in hearing more about the Bubba's Backyard Ultra, we are just wrapping up a podcast on the Run the Whites podcast. So if you search that on Spotify, Apple, it's everywhere. Thanks a lot, and hope everyone gets out and enjoys the fall.
Come join us in November.
The CatsTail Trail Marathon, a gorgeous fall marathon, runs point to point through the Catskills, and it completes the stretch formed by the Escarpment Trail Run and Manitou's Revenge. The course is rugged and beautiful, particularly this time of year. Can get a little bit burly with the down foliage and some of the technical terrain late in the race, but different. Last year, I jumped in without much training under my belt. I didn't have much fitness. Really just enjoyed the day out there, but it got ugly. It was a really hot day, and I just started kicking rocks late in the race, but really just appreciated the time out there. This year, a little bit cooler. I imagine it was a pretty nice day for it, and had some solid performances. So let's see, so even though, and also the field this year had to be quite a bit slimmer. Their permit was for 50 people, and that included entrants and volunteers. So they had to really keep it slim. But quality and performances weren't slim. Daniel Grip returned this year. He finished, I think, just behind Liam last year. And he lowered Liam's course record by just over a minute to 4:18. And my teammate, Amelia Kaufman, also returned, and she took the win in 5:30. And she also is able to weigh in, and so I've got a clip from Amelia here to cue us into the event. So take it, Amelia.
Hey everyone, this is Amelia from Team MPF R&R. I'm 3 days out from running CatsTail this past weekend, CatsTail Trail Marathon. My legs are still really sore. I haven't raced in 7 months, but it felt really good to race again. Thank you to Charlie and Mike for putting on this event. There was a cap of 50 participants total. People were really respectful about wearing masks. So I felt really safe out there, and it felt really good to race again, get that speed back in my legs. I finished pretty well. I finished in first woman. Not my fastest time on this course. I've run this course 3 times now, but only 2 minutes slower from last year. So I'm still really happy, and it felt great to see everyone and just get the legs going again. See you on the trails.
And then one of my other teammates and Co-RD for CatsTail, and I think the originator of CatsTail, the original Catskill Siudy, who also ran, breaks it down in this clip. So take it, Mike.
Hey there, this is Mike Siudy. I'm one of the co-directors of the CatsTail Trail Marathon, held every fall in the beautiful Catskill Mountains of New York State. This past Saturday marked our 6th running of the race, and wow, what a day we had. Beautiful weather conditions, highs in the low 60s, Nice blue skies, lots of good views of the foliage, and relatively dry trails. It was quite a treat to be out there on Saturday. If you're unfamiliar with the CatsTail, it's a rugged mountain marathon climbing over 4 of the highest peaks in the Catskills, including Slide Mountain, which is the highest at nearly 4,200 feet. In that marathon distance, we get nearly 7,000 feet of elevation gain. And it's extremely rocky, so it's really a mountain runner's paradise. Typically, we get about 100 runners able to participate each year, but this year, due to COVID restrictions, we were reduced to a field of just 43. I'm happy to report that all 43 runners finished the course in fantastic style. On the men's side, we had a couple of Mountain Peak Fitness Red Newt Racing athletes, Aaron Stredney and Jay Lemos, coming through the finish line in second and third place in 4 hours and 52 minutes. This was Jay's first time under 5 hours after completing the course all 6 years. The previous 3 years, he ran just over 5, like 5:01. So it was really awesome to see him finally break that 5-hour barrier. The winner this year was last year's runner-up, Daniel Grip. Daniel ran second last year to Liam Cregan when Liam had set our course record at 4 hours and 19 minutes. Well, Daniel came back this year and took a minute off Liam's time, resetting the course record in 4:18:24, and really an outstanding performance. On the women's side, we had another 6-time finisher, Alana Moss, came through in third in 6 hours and 12 minutes. Just ahead of her was Kate Mingle, running 5:38, and another MPF R&R runner, Amelia Kaufman, came back for her third running of the race, winning it in 5:30:27. So really an outstanding performance by all the runners out there, and it was just great to see the beautiful conditions finally arrive for us in this race. If you're interested in this for next year, it's annually held the first weekend in October. Registration opens up in the beginning of May. So put us on your calendar and keep your eyes open. We fill up quick. All right.
Sunday, October 4th, the Black Forest Ultra went down. Another tough, remote, and rugged event put on by Dave the Hillside Slider Walker. 2 back-to-backs. He had World's End 2 weekends ago on a COVID pushback in the Black Forest this weekend. So that's a really intense couple weeks from Dave and his crew. With a tagline for this one, Diabolically Epic. This is a 100K that starts at 12:01 a.m. Not sure if they got the conditions that Hellgate brings in December, but another really rugged overnight run. So let's see, in this one, the gain of 13,400 feet over that 100K, and with a 19-hour cutoff, which isn't always easy to make for Dave's races. Anthony Wallick, who I had the chance to spend a good chunk of the Frozen Snot race earlier this year running with and filming him as I was just filming the event. He took the overall win and established a new course record in 13:39. And we've got a clip from Anthony here, cueing us into Black Forest from his vantage point. So take it, Anthony.
Hey Trails Collective, my name is Anthony Wallick, and this weekend I went up to the PA Wilds to represent the Conestoga Cowboys at the Black Forest 100K. Black Forest 100K is a race put on in the PA Wilds by David Walker. It's 65 miles, 14,000 feet of climb. It's got a few unique things to it. There's a midnight start, there's no crews, there's no pacers, and there's only 5 real aid stations. There's a few water drops, which are just, a few things of water in the middle of the woods, but only 5 real aid stations where you can get, food, tailwind, drop bags, all of that. And you need the drop bag since there's no crew allowed to meet you on the course. You start off at Heiner Park, you run 10 miles out to meet up with the Black Forest Trail, and then you do the entire trail and you have to run 10 miles back to Heiner Park. They did a really good job at mitigating any of the risks with COVID. Everybody wore masks, everybody kept their distance. The race itself didn't feel too much different though, since you were out by yourself, no pacers, nothing for so long. So, just doing a few things different at the aid stations, it felt really good because it did not feel significantly different than the normal race, or at least how that race would feel pre-COVID. The community there is great. Anytime you go up to the PA Wilds, any of those races, you've got the same great people at all of them. I know this one here, there were a ton of Eric Kosek and his idiots doing it, both running and volunteering. Anytime there's something dumb to be done up in that area, they always show up, which is great. And then a bunch of people from back home here in Lancaster and York showed up, had great races. So just a great community up there. About my race personally, it went really well. I felt great all through the night. It's always a little sketchy running at night. I did have one porcupine run in where it took a lot to scare it off the trail. The trail was really thick there. I could not go around it. I could have probably gone around it, but it didn't seem worth the risk. It wasn't moving when I yelled at it. It wasn't moving when I clapped at it. Finally remembered that we had to have a whistle with our gear this race, so I found it. I blew it at it. Finally got it to scurry off the trail, only to find out the trail switched back, and it was scurrying right towards where I was heading next. But luckily it didn't pop back out. I'm not sure where he went. Sun came up, still felt pretty good from the beginning to the end. I ended up running 13:39, which was about an hour faster than I would have expected myself to be able to run. But the weather this year was perfect. It got down to about 40 degrees at night, which felt cold in some spots, but then, once you started climbing, warmed up. During the day, the weather was absolutely perfect. There was no rain. From what I hear, it's the driest that trail's been for this race. So just perfect conditions for it. All in all, I would really recommend the race. He puts on a great race, really hard. If you're looking for a challenge, there's definitely no hand holding. It's built to be tough. It's built to have you out there by yourself. And yeah, just a great community around it. I would definitely recommend it.
And then Kathleen, the complete trail endurance animal Kuzik, who I think I've met maybe in passing at an event, but don't know. And reached out to her on Facebook, but haven't gotten a response there to see if I could get a clip for her to weigh in. Haven't heard back from. If I do, I will let you know. But otherwise, do have Dave RD himself also weighing in just from his vantage point on how the event went, particularly in this year. So Dave, take it.
Hey, Trail Collective, Dave Walker here, coming off of the Black Forest Ultra 100K. You're at one of the vistas on the Black Forest Trail. Super pretty, right on the course. Most of the runners actually didn't see this one because it's an early one and we have a midnight start. So some of the vistas they didn't get to see. And I hope that the runners get to come back out, do some hiking up here. It's just a fantastic area to be. It was just a great weekend. I know I did my job for the runners who came across the finish line because pretty much they all hurled curse words at me. Some cried, the occasional hug. But I know I did my job and my crew did their job, taking care of them and giving them the experience that they really deserve to be out here. It's something that we want to give, different from other races. Some are really, really big productions. This one's being a lot more low key with 5 aid stations, some water drops, no crews and no pacers, no spectators. It's you, the course, 65 miles of awesome hell, as I call it. So it's just a great weekend. I couldn't have asked anything more after the World's End Ultra and Half Marathon last weekend. The runners were fantastic. Volunteers were fantastic. Gotta say thanks to the park and forestry for, again, allowing us to have some awesome events out here. It's just, it was a fun race. The leaders came through 19 minutes apart. They were together almost the entire race for the men. And that was super exciting to watch or listen to over the radio since we have not much else to go on. And so congratulations to our winners. And for our female winner, Kathleen Kuzik, who took home the bacon. She also ran last weekend the World's End 100K. So she dubbed this the Dave Walker double, doing back-to-back 100Ks. And also Tomas Castillo he also did the Dave Walker double and got it done. It's a super fantastic job. It was, I'm still just in awe. We finished up last night. This is the next morning. And it's just, I'm still just just happy to be able to put on this event. And it went so well, no injuries. We don't overhype, we don't undersell this event. It's an experience that I hope a lot of people might think about doing if they're really looking for kind of stepping up their game from just the normal mundane races that are out there. This one here is truly epic, or as Ben Mazur likes to call it, the diabolically epic race. So so 2020, this is a wrap for me. I don't have no more races until springtime with the World's End Ultras. And so I'm looking forward to some downtime during the winter and recharging. So Trail Collective, keep running, keep staying safe out there, and hopefully we'll see you in 2021.
All right, and then in-person events coming up. October 7th, this Friday, Saturday, or no, starting when I'm posting this, Wednesday. It's a solo effort from Ashley Carr. She's going to be setting off to run out and back on the AT through the Shenandoah National Park. It's a section covering 214 miles with 45,000 feet of elevation gain. That's truly mind-boggling. Technical terrain, that amount of elevation gain, that distance, that's a pretty incredible effort. She's using it to raise awareness and funds for the organization Girls in the Game. And they have a mission statement of helping to empower girls to discover their strength, find their voice, and become strong and confident women. Sounds like a pretty outstanding mission statement. I did reach out to Girls in the Game, and we will plug them here.
Girls in the Game is a sports health and leadership program for girls ages 7 through 18. We have programs in Chicago, Baltimore, North Texas, and Bloomington, and we really try and work with the whole girl. So we use sports as a way for girls to build up those skills like self-confidence and grit and teamwork that can really carry them through into other areas of their lives and give them other leadership opportunities and make them ready for those when they come along. The goal is for girls to grow up in our programs. So we hope the girls will enter when they're young in our elementary school after school programs and then move into middle school and then our high school programs where they dive even deeper into those leadership opportunities like coaching the younger girls and doing professional development and career mentoring with some of our corporate partners. We give girls a chance to try a lot of new different sports. So we're a non-competitive program. We focus on trying those new things and building up that ability to try and fail and be okay with that, while all the time having fun and being supported by the coaches. I think that supportive environment is a core principle of our programs. We want the girls to feel safe and feel empowered to be themselves and to really make the most of trying all these new opportunities.
And then also connecting with Ashley, who will be setting off. So as you're maybe watching this, she'll be out on trail. And she was able to follow up with this segment to, let you find out a little bit about her, the effort, and if you're so inclined, for sure look for the link that we'll plug to donate to her effort and Girls in the Game. But take it, Ashley.
Hi trail running family, my name's Ashley Carr and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and all year I've been training for Tahoe 200, which was supposed to take place in early September. Once that race was canceled due to COVID, I knew it was a no-brainer. I was going to plan my own adventure. So on October 7th, I am going to attempt the Appalachian Trail through Shenandoah National Park in the beautiful state of Virginia, out and back. This will be 214 miles with about 46,000 feet of cumulative elevation gain. I am super nervous. I am very excited. And I'm also confident and ready to take on whatever comes my way because I know that I can handle it. But I haven't always felt that way. When I first started running and before I started running, I lived a lot of my life with a I can't attitude or that's impossible. Over time and having many experiences out on the trail, I finally got to a place where I started to really believe that I could do some incredible things, and what a huge gift that has given me in my life. So I probably don't have to explain to all of you the self-growth that can happen through trail running, because you probably already know. I'm also aware that my ability to just walk out my front door and head to the mountains to pursue these kinds of activities is a huge luxury, a luxury that a lot of young women, especially in my city, don't have. So as I go through this next adventure in my life, I'm also fundraising for an organization called Girls in the Game. Girls in the Game serves young females in communities like Baltimore City and Chicago and provides them with sports, health, and leadership programs to give them the opportunity to really find their voice and test their limits and discover how strong they really are. Girls who are involved in sports are more likely to have lower levels of depression and have higher levels of confidence and self-esteem and all the things that they need to go out and pursue their dreams and really understand how strong they can be. So please check out my fundraising page and see how you can help provide some of these girls with some incredible opportunities so they can be strong, they can find their voice, and they can have so many of the benefits that we find when we go out on the trail. So wish me luck, and thank you so much for listening.
All right, then Saturday, October 10th, we've got the Tesla Hertz Run, 10 miler, 50K, 50 miler, 100K, running in Rocky Point, New York. Registration, I'm not sure if registration is still open. We'll plug the link. You can check it out if you're interested in jumping in there. It's on Ultra Sign Up, and that is another one put on by the crew at Happily Running. The Mid-State Massive Ultra in New Ipswich, New Hampshire is running also this weekend. 30, 50, and 100 milers. And those three distances, and depending on the distance, running between New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And we'll hopefully hear back from them post-race with a clip from the New England Endurance crew. So good luck to all those out there taking on Mid-State. Sunday, October 11th, Steep Endurance's Mohawk Mountain Race. They have a 10K and an 8-hour vertical challenge option. Good chance to pummel your quads into submission via Serpentine Loop on the Mohawk Mountain ski area. You can check it out on, registration is open through October 9th, so this Friday on Ultra Sign Up. So check it out if you want an in-person event in some cool trails in Connecticut. The Green Monster Trail Challenge also running this Sunday the 11th. That one has a lengthy wait list, I think, some time ago, but good luck to all those who are going to be out there. And for those of you interested in Green Monster, we'll try to keep tabs on it for next year since it's one that closes out. The Tussey Mountain Back also running in Boalsburg, PA. COVID modifications in play, but the event's still running. And you can check it out. Registration is open through, I think, Saturday the 10th. So last minute, and that is through Ultra Sign Up if you want to get in on Tussey Mountain Back. Sugarloaf Uphill Climb, a point-to-point ascent, gained 2,500 feet over 2.5 miles at Sugarloaf Mountain in Maine. Looks pretty tough and beautiful. The Big Brad Ultras, 50K and 50 mile in Bradbury Mountain State Park and that surrounding area in Pownell, Maine. Sounds pretty nicely technical, pretty fair, pretty runnable. Let's see, actually I don't know if registration I think is closed out for this year as well. But that's one up in Maine, I think a classic and a good community to keep your eye on for next year, and that's at trailmonsterrunning.org. So good luck to all those out there for Big Brad Ultras. Another one that's happening, a shorter one in the mix for this weekend, Sunshine Camp Trail Mix 5K in Rush, New York. This is to raise money to support kids with disabilities and attending the fully accessible Rotary Sunshine Camp. And it looks like a pretty mixed and fun 5K. So if you're in the Rochester area and want a good in-person trail event and contribute to a good association and cause, check it out, and you can register at Run Sign Up for the Sunshine Camp Trail Mix 5K. Weekend after, Friday, October 16th. Thanks to Pat Hine for the tip regarding the Wild Oak Trail 100 Fat Ass. This is one that I didn't know about prior, and hopefully Fat Ass is an okay descriptor for the event to use here. It's a 30-plus-year-old 112.8 mile 4-loop course. Each loop gains around 7,000 feet, so pretty solid there. Using the, I think it's white blazed Wild Oak Trail. There's no formal entry, aid, or volunteers, a true fat ass. And per their requirements, don't ask questions, because if you got or you do, you aren't invited. So show up, toughen up, and get it done. And you can find information there for on the Virginia Happy Trails running crew webpage. Saturday, October 17th, another Virginia Happy Trails event, open to members only. I think that this was lottery based, so I don't think you can still get in, but it's their Pumpkin Spice 50K, another fat ass style event running. Cinnamahone Trail Runs and Ultra offers 12K, 25K, and 50K options run in Emporium, PA. 12K option gives you over 1,800 feet of climbing in 7 miles. And the 25, 50K seems to continue with that trend. Registration is open through October 15th at Ultra Sign Up. So check it out in our Trails Collective article for the link there, or just look up Cinnamahone Trail Runs. The Little Pines 5-miler. It's a low-key family and youth-friendly event running in the Call of the Wilds Trail Festival weekend. Again, that's Saturday, October 17th. You can find information at the patraildogs.com website, and registration is open till the day of the race. And that's one that I'll hope to be down at with at least one of my daughters, if not more. Let's see, Sunday, October 18th is Call of the Wilds Mountain Fest, 25K, 50K run. Smaller field and cap size this year from COVID, but that's probably one that caps out as well. So to keep your eye on for next year, as that has closed out, but a pretty cool, another communal event put on by the PA Trail Dogs community. Saturday, October 24th, Live Loud Running's Pachog, I still don't know whether I'm pronouncing that right, trail runs. They have a half marathon, marathon, and 50K in the Pachog State Forest in Voluntown, Connecticut. Registration is open through October 21st, so you got some time here ahead of the race on the 24th. Check it out on Ultra Sign Up, and that is again from another one from the Live Loud Running's crew. So that's some of the ones coming up for October. Give us a heads up if we missed any. But thanks for tuning in now. We will follow up with you next week. And thanks for your support. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking. All of that. Check you next week. See ya.